Hello, this is Kim. I hope that you had a good winter or summer solstice, depending where you are when at the time of this recording. It just happened, right? This is Christmas Eve if you're watching this in real time. So, got two things for you. I've got Witch's Kitchen, which I'm going to go over probably the second, you know, do the other one first, and then go over Witch's Kitchen. So, I really like this as like clarifying, okay? Because I already pulled, as you can see, I already pulled up the cards. And then it comes in this. It's the Cosmos. I got it and I use it quite often. I know, not in the car usually because it goes everywhere, but use the Cosmos often. But it is like it's no longer available. So I was very lucky to reach out. It came across the country when somebody was getting rid of it. And I do have those cards. Now, I cannot pronounce all of these mythology names. A lot of them are Greek. I don't think any are Latin, but like, it's astronomy. So a lot of like probably like the scientific words are Latin. So I should not like never. What? Okay. So I'm gonna try to do it in order. And we did get reversals, but don't worry about reversals as negative. A lot of times it can be a warning, energy, just sort of like a hint. And do not take anything that does not resonate with you. And if you decide you dislike something, just say no. And it really does change everything. It's like a mindset sort of thing. So you don't have to own any reading or prediction, just so you're aware. That doesn't just include me, that's anyone. Okay. So this is the constellation Canes, Canes. So like canines, they're dogs. Venatici. Yeah, that's right. Venatici. It's partnership, collaboration, and shared vision. Now, we did get it reversed. Okay. But that doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, we're not gonna have any partnership. And it's sort of like we might have to work a little bit harder about partnership right now. um, I would say definitely like reach out to your loved ones and say, "Hey, watch maybe like how you say things." I know not everything I'm saying is coming across correctly, so I'm having to correct it after somebody else's you're not hurt, but like, what do you mean by that? So just just take a moment, before you say something. It says here it might be a breach of trust between partners. One may put on a professional face to complete a task while ignoring the real trouble. Allowing a rift to grow between parties can poison the endeavor. Encourage open communication between partners. So basically, yeah, just talk, communicate, write a letter. If you are, like I write better than I talk. So write an email, even if they don't email you back and they call you, drives me wild. Like email me back, but that's not how everybody communicates the best. We should communicate as best as we can in whatever form we need to, right? I've been writing letters left and right. I did like 103 holiday cards in for four different countries, I think. Yeah. So it's crazy. Like, yeah, so like now it's the four of water. So puppish, you know, and it depicts two hounds of Boots the herdsman, Astarion and Shara, as they pursue Ursa Major, the great bear, across the night sky. Similar to contemporary law enforcement officer protocol, hounds were sent into the field to work harmoniously to chasing down like the prey. Okay, so like think about this as they're working for you, not necessarily that they're working against you. It's a warning. Just watch your words. Watch your, communicate better. I mean, that is something that we all have to work on, no matter like what a reading says. Like it's like just like the way it is. It's hard. I have to say communication is hard for me. And like if you really want to like get down to it, like that's like my field, right? Communication, even telling history. Because I mean like I'm not an archaeologist, but I use it in like my writing. So all right, our next card is the Four of Earth. Okay. And it is Corona Australis, extreme action for a personal quest. Okay. So maybe not quite over the top, because I believe in, well, I'm always over the top, let's be honest. That's how you get stuff done. Sometimes you have to push. But sometimes people's reactions are not beneficial to being pushed as hard. All right. So it says Zhuan Wu's quest for enlightenment took several wild turns, but he remained steadfast in his dedication to grow and prosper. In a reading, it's an indication that extreme actions might need to be taken to achieve personal additional observation and follow through. So the most frightening side effects, if anything should turn out, should be positive when given guidance. Okay, well, it sort of goes against what I'm saying, but um, it sort of also goes with it. Extreme action. So even if you need extreme action, I mean, good comes out of it, but like there's also that shadow side. So just like that's what I'm feeling. I know I'm just feeling that, even if it doesn't say that. Just like take a moment, because with the rest of the cards that came, if this is like the major thing that we do, we're pushing, we're pushing, we're pushing. Um, just watch and make sure you like watch people's reactions, especially like when we were just talking about communication. Okay. I'm not going to go into the entire thing. The stars of Corona Australis are located within the larger Chinese constellation known as the Black Taurus of the North. Okay. It's very long, so I don't want to go like craziness like I usually do. Okay. So that is upright Earth 4. All right. Then we have Pisces, Austrianus, and Volans. I know I'm probably terribly right. So I'm showing it upright, but it was inverted. You can see that it's gold. That is the constellation. Okay, and what they look like. So you see, yeah, you can never see it. Now it's considered the page of air. Okay, so I assume that's like wand energy. Pisces Australis is associated with confidence and bravery that comes with being in one's element. Okay. And it's aid and protection. And it says or retreat and cowardice. And that was what we got inverted. And I don't think that we are retreat and cowardice. I think that with this, there might be a reaction when we go forth and we're going to do our big thing. And especially at the end of the year, like it's what the time to make resolutions. So maybe doesn't get as resolved. Maybe we have to take a step back. This is not cowardice. Changing our minds is not cowardice. Um, okay, so the focus on villains, an individual may take flight at the slightest sign of trouble. It doesn't, I mean, like we're allowed to. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. Okay, that other person flies. All right, well, then it wasn't meant to be. Or we keep pushing and it wasn't with that person. It's still our goal. It symbolizes departure, cowardice, and self-consciousness. Self-consciousness. How many of us struggle with that, right? It doesn't, all of these things make it sound bad. And it can be if an extreme. But self-consciousness is something that we can get over. We start out almost meek, right? I mean, my God, I wouldn't go to McDonald's as a child and I wouldn't order. I couldn't order. Too scared. Too scared. Parents have to do it. It's like most of my life. It's only been within the last 4 years that I've been able to, Zoom has like saved me. I don't necessarily see the crowds around me when I'm reading. And I mean, like, my biggest fear as a poet was success because I would have to read in front of people and I'd have to talk to people. And I'm not saying social media is awesome because it's not, because sometimes I get burned out, but it's not like going up and handshaking all the time. And like that was my biggest fear. It no longer is. I can handshake. I'm like, but I've grown and I've changed a bit. My priorities have changed. Fears have changed. So as we grow, we can get over that self-consciousness. I mean, like that's possible. Our next card is Sagitta and Induce. Damage taken to defend another. Okay. And we have it upright. It's a 6 of fire. Um, I'm gonna read just a little bit of the constellation. Sagitta is the constellation of the Arrow. Though it is in light years away from the constellation Indus, they are related in symbolism. Indus, traditionally depicted as an American Indian, is often depicted as a proud man with arrows in both hands. Now, it can be proud, okay, but proud even has like a sometimes connotations. Let's call it strong. So we have a strong man. That could be a strong man coming into your life, or masculine energy. If you're into masculine energy, yang or whatever, sure. It doesn't have to be gender based, in other words. Okay. But then there's also within us, we don't have to be, forget the male female, all right. We can be strong. All right. And we can be proud, sure, be proud, but like strong. All right. And that's been my goal for like the last year. Don't have to focus on weight, just be strong, just be, and even strong can go to an extreme, okay, where you're putting everyone ahead of you and you're saying it's because you're strong, when really it's because you're hurting yourself and you're letting other people, it doesn't mean weak, but it does mean that you can be taken advantage of. I get taken advantage of all the time, and yet I still, I'm like, yeah, it makes me strong. But sometimes you don't need to be that, that strong. Okay. Like let's step back and say, I'll do it in a week, and like that is also strength. That's what I'm trying to say, at least. Okay. They say when this card appears in reading, it symbolizes one ability to ward off unwanted intruders. The arrows denote an invasion of privacy or an invasion of one's space. This intrusion may manifest itself through an unexpected guest, pushy conversationalist, or person trespassing against one's beliefs. You can take any of that as it resonates, but I maintain that it is strength, and it is both strength. We have to be strong, right? And then it's also almost the negative strength. We're doing too much and we're actually damaging ourselves. I got sick, like deathly ill. I'm sure I was actually dying. Because I think I let myself get too worn, you know, that I did too much, right? There is like a too much point where and then your body, will take on a bug or whatever I had. I don't know. It was either the a very bad stomach flu or it was food poisoning. I don't know. I was already started off dehydrated and I probably should have gone to hospital, but I don't believe I have problems with the health system and how they've treated me in the past. So I don't always go. So maybe that's like the not strong part. And I got very dehydrated and it was really bad. I couldn't like stir cookies, and that was after I was technically better. I wound up getting a formula of a salt solution that makes water, a one thing of water equals three. I immediately turned around. So I knew I was like, oh, going forward, that means I also have to stay hydrated. So like these are things like and like staying hydrated for me will be me being strong, and keeping myself strong and not letting myself, get to that point strong. I mean like a near death experience does like open your eyes. It does. I realized that writing wasn't important to me at the time. I wasn't like worried about all my unfinished writing. I was worried about, people I love. So it's interesting how my perspective has changed. So like strength and all of these things, like all of them, they can change. As we grow, as the year goes on, as things happen, we can start off one way and then suddenly it's like, oh my gosh, no, 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 no. And like I'm still gonna get that Nobel, but I also have like a different dream that I didn't really understand. Didn't know. All right. Our final card of this deck is Judgment. It's considered an Earth, I guess, in this one. Um, it's Capricornus, setting priorities, efficiency, practicality. And we did get it inverted. And like if you're watching it now, you can think of it as the beginning of the year. like if you're setting I don't know, goals, shall we say? I don't really like other words for it. Like I don't want to be like, I'm gonna set this blah 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 blah. No. Um, be kind to yourself. Be kind. That's just what I have to say about that. Capricornus, otherwise known as Capricorn, is one of the most ancient constellations. Astronomers from Babylon and Assyria saw Capricorn in the formidable sea goat. All right, rules the 10th house, and it rules social status. All right, and in reverse, it says that it indicates a person relying a bit too much when discussing emotional content. Oh, excuse me, a bit too much logic when it's discussing emotional content. Rather than being perceived as mechanical or unfeeling, a person may choose to soften their analytical approach when giving advice or trying to sort out matters of the heart. That's interesting that I was talking about matters of the heart. All right, it's funny. Sorry. All right. But it goes exactly like with our first card, right? Like communication and all this stuff. And maybe even this entire higher, like if you want to call it year, if or a cycle or whatever you want to call it right now that we're going through, it's about communication. I mean, wars get started because of communication. At least that's how I feel. So I mean, like, so if we just communicate our needs, our wants, sometimes we don't get everything that we want. We can try to sort of like merge our wants and needs and like allow for the other to have theirs as well. I'm learning this. I think that globally we're all learning this. All right. We have, let's see, we started off with clothes. We're going back to the kitchen witch. Clothes. So it says gossip. All right. But I think it's good gossip. All right. I do. I do. I'm just going to read just a little bit. Whispers behind your back or hushed silence when you enter a room indicates that you're the topic of conversation. There is no harm in some, but others' private business should be avoided. It's vital to keep your reputation in high regard. So I will assist in purifying and raising your vibration and protect you from smear campaigns. Burn me with a red candle to stop any gossip that is affecting you now, or prevent or protect you from slander in the future. And because of the other cards that were pulled and that I already saw them, I really don't think that this is negative gossip. I think it's like, look at them. Even if you're not looking for a love relationship, this can be friendship. It does say romance. It's roses. Okay. And it can be romance if you want romance, or it can just be, whatever, right? Friendship, empathy, relationships of all sorts. Okay. So it's sort of like an easing, I would say. It says a deep desire to be swept off your feet, make your heart beat furiously. Um, it says, I'll magnetize your aura to draw in all you seek on your quest for romance as you work my petals and buds to cast spells of amour and create love potions. Now, I also will say roses, I associate them with creativity. So also romance, creativity, that quest that we had. Okay. That sort of stuff. Seaweed, prediction. Okay. So, we have a prediction, and I believe that it's very positive. Even if it's not romance, if it's creativity, we're getting what we need and we're getting what we're going, and we are learning to communicate. Even though those cards were reversed, it's a learning. We are learning to communicate. And I believe that that is all the difference. All right, Seaweed's guidance. A little weather magic is on the cards. When you hang me outside your door, for I can predict what is to come. All right. As you unite with the Indinis, the element spirits of the water, focus on moon lore and the ebb and flow of tides to raise winds, cause storms, and work with the chaotic forces of nature, connecting to the sea witch within. Okay. So that is our reading. I am going to do a year-long reading. I don't know when that will be available. I want to say today, but all right. Well, have a wonderful Christmas if it is Christmas time for you. And if it is not, um, have a wonderful, next holiday for you, okay? And, if you do not celebrate Christmas, merry, merry, happy, happy, as I usually say. Take care, be well, um, create, and love.